All right, good morning. Today is Tuesday. We were closed yesterday for Labor Day, so we're only gonna have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday for the week. So let's go ahead and get started with the prep. All right, let's see if we can find a quote. Let's do this one with John Burroughs. Leap and the net will appear. Looking at our earnings, of course, nothing for Monday, not too much for Tuesday, and just a few more smaller companies for the week, just in general. We have our data for today. It's going to be the 645s, the PMIs, and then the construction spending and ISM manufacturing for today. So somewhat light overall, but given the possible increase of volatility and volume as we start in September, who knows? But should be a bit lighter. And again, this is the sector tracker for the S&P 500. You can look at our review from Friday for an update on how we finished. I'm actually gonna move this back up. All right, let's look at our stats. What we have here. So far we have done 238 range on the NQ and 44 for the ES. So yesterday's session should melt into today's session as well, as far as the daily candle, if I'm not mistaken. So let's go through our process. I know it's the beginning of the week, but let's make sure that we know we're just taking the same steps every day. All right, so and we have 15 minutes until the opening bell. All right, let me just give him my journal here, and then we'll go ahead and start. Then we'll go ahead and start the DOM as well. We're already trading at these lows. So again, we're not going to do too much prep because we did do our end of session review yesterday. Not really much has changed, but we'll look at it. So just from a quick glance, would this be a bearish or bullish overnight? So again, yesterday's session is going to basically just be all one day. So this is just like one big overnight session, if you will. Notice the Sunday trading was a bit lower balance, and then we tested the low 30s. Found our way back into balance. Tried to test that upper portion. We ended up we did not hit the 70s. No, we stopped at 56.69. Once we fell back into balance, a little lower balance, back into balance. And now we're testing this lower balance with a clear break. And now we're coiling. Now we're coiling below this low here. And that low from the prior overnight was 56.38. So they definitely need to get over the 36s. We've been sitting here for 4 hours and we're making fresh lows. So this would be considered bearish. We have a tick above. We have a little trade in above, a look above, test back in the middle, and then attempt again, and then a clear fail. This will be considered bearish or weak, rather, extremely weak, given the context of everything. And then the same situation here. Balance, lower balance, balance, look above, tried to stay above and failed. Went back into balance. Now it's still a little sturdier from what I can see, but then much of a lower high and snap back down. Same situation. Looking at the actual volume, we're at 177,000. So really not too much. This would be a lower, yeah, this would be like below average. Seems like a little bit of increased volume here on technology though, at 100,000 already. And then just a reminder of where we are. I'm sorry, bear with me. So if that is considered a bit weak, you know, we just want to make sure that we understand that from a higher time frame, we are still incredibly bullish. On the intermediate, this is considered bullish. On the daily, this is still more this is still more balanced. But this is definitely a more of a weaker posture for the overnight, which may lead to favorable sides for the sellers. Just something to be aware of. All right, I'm going back to my process. So we've already talked about this. Well, it's good to have a process. We're becoming a little scattered given the extended day. But okay, so we look at our quick glance. This is going to be a big week. Where is the market open from? This is the high balance. Top of the range. And ES looked above and failed. Same situation for NQ. Yeah. Their goal was really just to hold this 50%, build volume higher. They failed. And again, we're looking at it from the buyer's perspective as they have the majority of the control on higher time frames. There's no specific notes outside of the average, below average volume, but definitely negative delta at negative 6,400 for right now, and negative 1,200 for the NQ. We do have data coming out at 6:45 and 7 a.m., so things may change, but we'll leave the speculation out for now. And for we'll do the quote board shortly. I don't think there's any headlines to be aware of. We will do our overnight zones. Just looking at our 138-minute candles. We still have not hit those singles near those 700s. Now we're trading 200 points lower. Still a higher level. And then the same situation here. I would imagine we sell below these 24 shortly. You may have a little cascade. But this is still very much within this higher low range. And this goes down to the 5,600s and then the 570s. We'll look at that on the market profile shortly, but I want to go ahead and draw our zones.
Block buy. Block sell.
And as it seems that the bears have the slight advantage, we want to do our zones on the way back up. I cannot get these on. I can't draw this. There we go. Okay, and then the overnight high is going to be well above that. If we start getting past those zones, then we can actually, let's just do it. The time it'll take for us to explain why we don't want to do it. So we got 4 on the NQ. And then let's look at the EX. It's about 3 or 4 point ranges or so. Some of this is referencing Sunday night action. I forgot about this section here. Yeah, let's just do this is from that Sunday and it's above this coiling zone here. And again, these are just just little price maps. That way we have these references. What else? Switching back and forth. Okay, so 4 zones each. We're good there. We're good there. And we'll take a quick look at the profile. I'm gonna go ahead and throw on price block for us. We'll do the NQ once more.
Market open. Squawk.
Okay, so there were some singles that they have
Block
already
buy.
beaten through. So we'll get these removed. And we're back into the sell zone. We should all be familiar with this purple zone by now. Just been following that negative delta. We do have a few singles in today's price action. Probably makes sense for us to get these strong. Okay, so we have our singles. And right now we are trading below this VPOC from the past 2 weeks. And this was in August, so last month. So again, if we zip below these 5640s and stay below the 5620s, we're going to be sliding down here with a lot of pent up energy because this is also the VPOC for the composite as well. And that goes back to April. Okay, you're doing a good job getting realigned. VPOC's on, VPOC's on. Same situation. We stay below this purple zone here, and we're gonna find our way back into this low volume node for August, which we will spend time in build volume if we're stuck. It's been poorly auctioned. Possibility we may zip through, but just kind of a checkpoint, and that's at the 2 to 300s. So as of right now, this unshaded area, all this is kind of like free game. This is from the 500s to the 300s. This is a low volume zone as well, but we just kind of leave this there, and we can look at the price action. Okay. Were there singles for NQ? There are none. Or A small amount, maybe. No, we have an excess, but no singles.
Block
Okay,
cell.
looks like they're getting ready to possibly break these 24s. We just tick below. And remember, we have 1 minute until the market opens. We'll go ahead and get our timer going. We're doing a good job. Let's get our little test. Very cool. And 30 seconds. Now we'll clean up. We'll clean up down here. Actually, it doesn't take that long. Just want to make sure that we get this time. But if not, we'll just have to do without it. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Block cell. Block cell. Block cell.
So again, we do have data coming out in 15 minutes. For the subscribers, they're going to get it, I believe, 3 minutes early. So 6:42, you may see a move, and then 6:45, maybe another one.
Block cell.
Alright, let's hit this pull board. So of course, definitely much more negative today. NVIDIA's leading the way down. So it looks like this chips. So we'll see how they perform.
Block cell.
VIX is up 2%. Finance wasn't doing too well, but they're starting off pretty decent. Same thing with healthcare. And then definitely keep an eye on industrials. Other than that, everyone else is holding. Okay. Tech leading the way down. 40 basis point separation. Let's see if Microsoft can hold it down alongside Apple. Same thing for Tesla. Possibility for them to have like a balance in that. We're seeing S&P do well. People are buying up that dip in finance. Really everywhere but utilities and technology. Okay.
Block cell.
Some heavy delta. Heavy delta we're seeing. Still the same first bar. And again, we're just trading lower. We have not made our way back up. So as of right now,
Block cell.
this is looking like could be an open drive. We're gonna look at our higher time frame candles there. We broke that support zone there. Still in higher low territory. Really all the way up until the 5600s. I mean, we have 20 points. Excuse me, not we. The buyers have 20 points, at least to keep their higher low theory intact. I do remember we have a
Block
data
cell.
coming out in 12 minutes, and then Well, in 11 minutes. And then shortly after that, and then 7 a.m. as well. Okay, it's a very solid job overall. We're definitely gonna say that this is still balanced.
Block sell.
This is still balanced for the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq. These are the daily candles, monthly, weekly, daily. So as of right now, the momentum is on the bear side, but this is still high balance for the S&P 500. And we're seeing that as well with only 9 points so far. Though all of this, all of these 9 points have been to the
Block
downside.
sell.
Well, the majority of it.
Block buy.
Alright, so I'm just gonna let this play out. Really not too much for us to do right now. Do remember that we have our zones everywhere. We understand like our price map. We're trading between this little gap here, between these 500s and these 300s, and then these 20s, and then the 5600s. Under the 5600s, we have the 70s, and getting ready to test that point at the low 60s. And then for here, this will pretty much just be
Block
from the
sell.
300 and then getting below that 200 zone with the 19100 as their last line of defense. About 150 for the NQ. So max, the buyers can give up another 50 points, but that would be last line of defense. But ideally, they want to hold between the 50 before the 5600, and then hold before the end of these 300s for the NQ. For the buyers to thwart the sell side momentum. So again, we're just thinking out loud just to make sure that we're staying in line and staying aligned. Volume's decent, nothing crazy. Just make sure that we don't get ahead of ourselves. Okay, I'm looking for some notes. Just seeing if there's anything else that we can do to continue staying aligned. Okay. So my answer right now would get us like a -2 for NQ, -1.5 for ES. Because the buyers were trying for a while, and they ended up being overran. You can look at the delta. They just continue to push and push and push. Not really much reward though, but their willingness to just to have at it on the NQ as well.
Block buy.
So yeah, we may say -2 for both. down 2% from the video. Ooh, Apple ended up giving up. They're not as sturdy as they could be, and that's not a good sign. And they were selling off on industrials and utilities. But finance is still doing this thing. It's really just tech industrials and utilities. Tesla really needs to keep the whole thing strong. Yeah, if Tesla can hold, well, if Tesla starts selling off, that'll really be
Block
helpful for the
buy.
bears. The buyers were trying to get up. We may see an extension lower. They were trying to get back up, but they're kind of stalling. This is definitely a heavier tape. Let's see. Oh, yes, I forgot. I have mine worked on doing a new instance. I think I actually need to pause this for a quick second. Show it. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, perfect. So I have a new instance for my execution. Actually, I need to move that out of the way too. Bear with me for these pop-ups. Okay, this is so much better. So I have my execution screens on my other one, so I can just drag and drop now. If I want to show anything.
Block sell.
Okay, let's see what we're looking at. Now I can look at this at 1 minute bars as
Block
well.
sell.
Okay, so yeah, now we'll be more in like -3 territory. Funny enough, I did a simulation trade last night and I still have it on.
Block buy.
That's funny. How many points is this though? 200 points. Alright. So again, it's still relatively mild. I'm not listening to it on price block, so I'm not sure how it sounds, but I mean we're just in the 370s. So again, this is still like a -2. It's not anything too crazy. Yeah, this is really helpful having my other screen up. Very much. Okay, so again, those are the people who have the PMIs, the subscription. They just got the data there. So this may be more of like a front running for them, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, this is still fairly light.
Block sell.
Okay, so let's take a snapshot of where we are now. And then this is at the top of this hammer candle. We'll call that 643. And then we'll be looking at the difference here to see how everyone's moving. All right, so we have like another 9 seconds for this minute candle. and then another minute before the 6:45 PMIs. All right, sorry, I had to take care of something. All right, so this PMI is getting ready to come out. So again, we already did a quote board, so we'll see how everybody responds. All right, so this reaction here.
Block by.
All right, we'll go ahead and turn our DGPs on. All right, so you can see that open drive from the NASDAQ. We'll see if that's something that's sustained. And then just a quick look to see where we are regards to our prior day's range. Again, do remember yesterday was a holiday, so we were well below yesterday, but really we're just back in the middle of the range, or more on this lower range for Friday, which is actually not good now that I see this. Just so if we coil more of these lower prices, but this still may end up being a higher low that we're looking at on a higher time frame. So just be mindful as you're looking into that. And in the same situation, but a little more aggressive to the downside. Actually, I think they just broke their prior low. Yeah. So again, I wouldn't say that this is like a cheap buying opportunity. If anything, we've already just from this overnight session with a look above and fail, we found ourselves already taking out the Friday's low in the first 17 minutes of the day. So I mean, it's not the best showing for the buyers. Buyers definitely have something to prove, but we are definitely still bullish on a higher time frame, bullish on the intermediate, more balance to the lower side for the NQ, and then still mid balance for the S&P 500. Volume is still fairly light. Delta is extremely negative here, and that's at the 400s. And then these same 20s
Block by.
for the S&P 500. So we'll see what happens here. Again, we need more information. Data's coming out at 7 a.m. There's really no reason to rush and get ahead of this. ES is getting ready to get back at their lows, and then we'll look at where this is coming from. This is exactly what we were talking about with Tesla. So Tesla's starting to sell off with Apple included. Um, Unfortunately, they need to work together. Not the best showing here. Utilities and industrials and finances, who was holding us down a little earlier, they're all selling off. So I mean, this is definitely just weak across the board from what we're seeing. But technology and the communications, and I would imagine discretionary. Nope, not discretionary. So communications and technologies are going to try to lead right now. So we may see a surge in the Nasdaq like we're seeing, but we want to see how long that's going to last because it's like heavy volume that's hitting these bids right here. So I mean, you have some passive buyers that are here, and that's fine. But passives is not going to push the price up unless we run out of sellers, but sellers are still hitting it pretty hard. But again, this is still lighter volume just in general. So you just want to take that with a grain of salt. We're opening at this low for ES. NQ is trying to curl from these lows. They're stuck at their VWAP, but it's above their VPOC at the moment.
Block buy.
All right, we'll see if we can do a quick check, and we'll see how people are responding here. This is with the NQ trying to bottom out, and ES stuck at its lows. So we'll see how technology kind of responds in this moment. They're in the spotlight. And again, so this is more of this urgency that we're seeing to the downside, and this is coming from everyone. And we're starting to see a little rise in these consumer staples, so we're trying to take that defensive stance.
Block sell.
I'm turning on price swap and restarting it. I don't know why I wasn't hearing anything. So actually, let me just I'm actually gonna do the ES because it looks like ES is the one that's doing the damn movement. All right, let's try here. ES, we haven't heard ES in a while. So they're not gonna be as fast, but yeah, we'll see. All right, so ES is at those 56.08. So again, we really can't look towards the downside for right now. Tech is holding really well. But again, that should just be NVIDIA that's stepping back up. And it was someone else. Yeah, Microsoft still. Yeah, Microsoft, Meta. That's what we're looking at. Tesla's still green. But it's important for them to kind of hold it. Look at the passive sellers here. There's some big volume happening here at these lows. And now we're sliding lower. So I mean, it's not like this is like a bid pull by any means. This is just like a straight up, straight downside. So man, I will put this at -3 for the ES and -2.5 for NQ. NQ because they're trying to make their higher low right now, and ES is just selling off across the board for multiple classes. Alright, so I got some stuff going on. Alright, so we'll see what exactly is going on here. So this was from Apple. Tesla's trying to make a comeback here. But primarily, oh shit. What the fuck was that? Oh Let me double check. Make sure it's like no news or anything. Good lord.
Block cell.
This shit's so cool. Put this on mute. So again, this is just more of this open drop behavior that we were seeing. This is why we were saying -3. And still, I say like a -3 for NQ for right now. Yeah, I'm not seeing any kind of news or anything. I don't know what was going on there. Could be somebody just liquidating. So we're right at those 5600s, and again, we've been talking about these for the longest. You can see our levels drawn. We were talking about this in the pre-market, so we know exactly where we're at. And again, we had this data coming out in 5 minutes, so things may change briefly. So we don't want to get too much ahead of ourselves, but again, we're trading well below the prior day's range for NQ. For -12,000 for the sell delta, and -3,000 for the NQ. You can see where we are in relation to Friday's range for the DS. And for the NQ, again, we're trading below that range. For better insight, we can look at the market profile, which is this is what this is for. But again, we already know our zones here. So again, this is just like a refresher for our minds. This can go lower if they wanted to go lower. But we're seeing some nice volume here off these lows. This would be a nice potential spot. This is around the same area that we were talking about. We said that they needed to protect the 5600s. But again, we do have the data that's coming out in 4 minutes. So that can cause like a volatility spike in either direction. So it really depends on what's going on at the time. But yeah, we'll see. We won't get ahead of ourselves.
Block cell.
Again, another push at these lows here. And again, there's no reason to even look for a buy at the moment. We've seen no initiative candle, no kind of engulfing candles. We're not reclaiming any kind of DGPs for that matter. More pushing to the downside. We're pretty high on this negative delta. We're almost past the delta from the previous candle. But we still have time. Now we're scurrying our way back up. These impulses are not really seeing too much pushback. So maybe a situation where the sellers may be letting off the gas just a little bit. Not that not the buyers are gaining any strength, but they're just kind of they're not forcing it down. They're not chasing it down at the moment. No like high urgency. But again, we have data coming out shortly, so we'll see. Again, we're not looking to do any kind of buying or anything. If we are going to have some sort of a pullback, excuse me, not a pullback, but this may be a situation where we're having a potential trend down day where we will want to short any kind of look aboves. If we get above this 5 smoothing average, if we get at this midpoint, maybe these VWAP bands. This would be at the 16s and about this 400 mark for the NQ, which will also be where he had this little coiling range as well. It's 406. Alright, so we got about 40 seconds. So this is why we were looking at the calling that it, giving that about a -3 for a score. We're having these bullish candles that are turning a little bearish. But again, it seems that these buyers are trying to make a sort of a pullback. But again, we got 10 seconds for this data that comes out. So this is definitely going to change things up a little bit. So we'll see. 5 seconds. It may be a situation where we test like the mid. Hold on, we'll just see. Oh shit. Okay. So about 4
Block
points
buy.
down. NQ's making their new lows. ES was able to hold theirs.
Block sell. Block sell. Block sell.
Pushing down, pushing
Block
down,
sell.
pushing down. Still no new lows for ES. Turn this down. Okay, this was 56. Nope, not yet. Okay. And that's the minute there. So back into the range we are. So we're going to see if there's going to be another rotation for a new low. Or if that was just a liquidity check. Because after testing that low, we are finding our way back up to the 70s. We were just at our 20s a while ago. For the NQ. Yeah, ES is still struggling just a bit. Let's see if we can take our snapshot. Alright, so we got 5 seconds in this 1 minute candle. This is very nice recovery for the NQ. One more minute though. There's possibility that they found support right at that 300 level. Same thing with the ES with this 5600. Yeah, NQ, yeah. They definitely are not working together. So that's how these markets are going to move their best when these two are moving in sync. All right, we got somebody trying to be a little aggressive. We're going to see if that's going to hold. Let's see if actually 250 are actually traded there. We're having trouble getting that filled. They're still there. They didn't run. Buyers are not pushing this up. NQ is trying, man. It's just so strange to see.
Block sell.
Yeah, where's this
Block
coming from?
sell.
Utilities, industrials, and finance. Same thing. Yeah, they're consistently headed down. Down 35, a buck 74, 66. NQ, yeah, NQ really is trying. Let's see if this liquidity gets filled. Look at the buyers are pushing these sellers are not only chasing it
Block
down,
sell. Block sell.
nice little passives as well. NQ is still trying to hold their lows, but I mean, ES, we're seeing this in some of these other sectors. Yeah, same thing. Yeah, just these other sectors are just selling off. Yeah, this is a whole move down. Yeah, and Q starting to find their way down a little lower. Yeah, and volume's trying to pick up.
Block sell.
All right, let's see. It's an interesting candle. All right, so we're already at our 59s. We look below that range, and we're still at the top of this range for the NQ.
Block buy.
Yeah, teetering. And I already did my quote board.
Block sell.
Oh, sorry about that. Got my alert.
Block buy.
And said ES may be stuck at these lows again with these uphill battles that they're having. Seeing this stuck delta here. Not stuck, but just definitely just some passives that are coming in, staying in. They may be stuck under these 5600s for the ES. So we'll believe it when we see it.
Block sell.
Twelve minutes.
Block sell.
Hmm.
Block sell.
There. All right, there we go. So that is the. So now we're trading. They're gonna try to keep them under these 300s. They're definitely not able to get above this 5600. We've seen this where you fall up under a range and then you're just like completely stuck. Definitely, you'll see like a high buy delta. Same as being around like the 1 to 2,000 range, and that normally ends up like marking the spot. So we may end up
Block
going
sell.
above here to these like 5600s, but not really staying above. Um, so I mean, yeah, that was kind of like a clear sign right there. I mean, and then just it's just been like a heavy tape, just in general. Sell volume is unrelenting. The negative delta. volume still increasing. Definitely on the ES. But yes, it's seeing more downside.
Block sell.
I'm looking at these 1 minute bars. It's something that I've been. Okay, we're already at the 85s. So what? From that initial balance low, the range is 27 points. So yeah, range is definitely expanding. And then even after the IB low, we look below for that 7 a.m. data. You end up having an impulse coil. Impulse, I would imagine we may have like a bit of a coil and then more release lower. You can have some sellers that are trying to chase it down here. Passives, they got filled pretty quickly and they're still trading. ES is trying to lead its way out of here. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna do my notes. I'm gonna have to do a screenshot in just a moment. Oh, I'm gonna put this on mute. Sorry. Sorry, I type fairly loud.
Block sell.
All right. I wonder if this is gonna be the case where they finally where the Bulls actually try to make us stand here because you were able to get the ES and the NQ at the same time. There may have been a short covering rally and maybe some early longs. Doesn't look like it's anything sustained. They have another 5 seconds to end that candle strong. All right, we'll see if that's continued here because you have the buyers are definitely trying to push. Yeah, they're inching their way upwards.
Block cell.
Where is yes. Ooh. What a daily candle so far? Yeah, it's not anything sustained. At this point, we're -3.5, -4. Not only are we pushing them down, they're not able to get above and stay above any kind of valid prices. Yeah, they're chasing it down, pushing it down. Volume's getting a little lighter. I mean, but this is just at this very moment. We're at 500,000 so far. So yeah, that volume picked up pretty heavily then. Yeah. All right, back to my note.
Block cell. Block cell. Block cell. Block cell. Block cell. Block cell. Block by. Block cell. Block by. Block by. Block by. Block cell. Block by. Block cell. Block cell. Block by. Block cell. Block by. Block cell. Block cell. Block cell. Block cell. Block cell. Block by. Block by. Block cell. Block by. Block cell. Block cell. Block cell. Block by. Block cell. Block cell. Block by.